one-person show, written, directed, and acted by Federico on Daniel, this is the program, on Daniel Plainview.
Wake up, Father. Pay attention, because this is going to be one of the most important moments of your life. I am leaving. I'm finished. You hear me? I am sick of this miserable life we lead. We have been stuck in the same small room since 1890 for 8 years. That's right, 8 years. Have you lost track? Or have you simply accepted this as your rightful place in the world? Just another man and his son scraping by in the belly of New York City? Well, not anymore. From now on, you are going to be on your own. As long as I can remember, I have been the one providing for you, while all you do is laze about and drink, waiting for me to bring home a paycheck. It's been this way ever since you lost your job. Do you remember how your coworkers, they cheated you, took credit for your work, and then reaped the rewards that ought to have gone to you? But what did you do? Did you stand up for yourself? Did you fight for it? No. You just sulked and you let them take you for all you had. Well, you've had your chance. You've had your chance to get on your feet again with me providing for you. But still you do nothing for yourself. Isn't it the father who's supposed to take care of the son? I'm going to look for work away from New York, somewhere out west where I have room to think and no one to try and rob me like they did you. Because that seems to be the only sort of person I can find out here.
Daniel.
Goodbye, Father.
Daniel, wait.
All right, hurry up. We've only got a few hours left. We need to get this out of the ground. Is it still going? Good, very good. You keep lowering the buckets. John, I hired you for a reason, didn't I? Make sure the reservoir is large enough this time. If we don't have somewhere to put the oil, then it's no use to us at all. Hand me that bucket. I'm going in with Edward.
Boss, what happened? Daniel, what about Edward? Is he okay?
He's dead. Get down here. We need to clean this up.
Daniel, what about Edward's son? Sir, he's up here crying. What are we going to do with his baby?
I will see to that once we're finished here. Edward's boy, come here. Don't cry.
Daniel, are you sure that you can take care of him yourself? What experience do you have? He needs a mother, doesn't he?
Couldn't be over a year old, could he? He needs me to take care of him. His parents, his father is gone, and I can help him. And he can help me. Investors, they love a family man. People nowadays, they're so careful about who they work with, but who could turn down a hardworking father and his son? He needs a name. Edward, he never mentioned one, and there's no mother. How about Henry? Henry, that's a good name. Ladies and gentlemen, I have traveled over half the state of California to be here with you tonight. I have recently come from my new well that's coming in at Coyote Hills. It is now flowing at 2,000 barrels and is paying me an income of $5,000 a week. I have 2 others drilling and 16 producing down in Antelope for almost 2 years now, since 1908. So, when I say I'm an oil man, I think you'll agree. Now, I do my own drilling, and the men that work for me, and they are men that I know, like my assistant, Fletcher, here. Now, I don't buy a lease and sell it out to a contractor. I make it my business to be there and oversee the work. This work that we do is also very much a family enterprise. I work side by side with my wonderful son and partner, Henry W. Plainview, but you can call him HW. Together, we offer you the bond of family that few oil men can understand.
Well, what's your offer? We don't have all day.
I have tools ready to be shipped out and be here within a week. I can guarantee to start drilling and put up the cash to back my word. Ladies and gentlemen, this chance you have is a great one, but you could lose it all if you're not careful. Most of the men that might come to you will be speculators. These are men trying to take the lease and then sell it out to another business, trying to take a cut of the money that ought by rights go to you. But ladies and gentlemen, I assure you that when it comes to the showdown, they won't be there.
Well, what exactly do you mean when you say?
Let us discuss what this man has to say.
Do you trust him? I'm not sure I do.
No, for sure. It could take years.
What about the others?
Calm down, sir. Calm down.
Sit down, sir. Sit down.
Come, HW, we don't need this lease. Too much confusion. It's bad for business. In fact, I wouldn't take it if they gave it to me as a gift. Now, come. There's always other work to be found. Dad? Have you forgotten it's almost the 15th of November? Well, you said we could go quail shooting this year. I know you're busy, but we're always on the road, going from the wells that we do have to looking for places to make new ones. Let's take our camping things, and once we're done here in California, we can go back home to Arizona through that town, Little Boston, we passed through a few weeks ago. They said there's no end of quail there, Dad. And, well, it's where the Watkins family live. Do you remember that boy Paul from a few nights ago? Well, he's from Little Boston. He was telling me about his family and how they're going to lose their ranch to the banks because they can't pay them back. He told me about all the crops and how they're failing and dying, and his dad doesn't make much money from his other jobs. How him and his three sisters are going to have to leave. I want you to buy the land back, or anything, so that the Watkins can keep their home. It's wicked that they're getting turned out when they're just doing the best they can. Plenty of people get turned out when they don't meet their obligations, son. Not their fault? Do you think the banks care whose fault it is? Those people only want one thing from you, your money. And if you don't have it, then that's just too bad. Do you really expect me to pay out of my own pocket for other people's troubles? I understand you're only 12 years old, but soon you're going to realize that there are plenty of harsh things and people in this world, and that just ain't in your power to change. You're going to have to grow up to that sooner or later. But where are they to go? I've seen a picture of them. You can see they've never done anything but work hard. Honest, Dad, I couldn't be happy if I didn't help them. Their land, it's only a few $1,000s. That's nothing to you. You could buy it and then rent it back to them. And there's oil. Paul, he said he's seen it seeping out of the ground. Let's just drive through, camp out, hunt some quail, and then we can see what we think about it. You can get a rest, and we can help those people at the same time. It'll be fun. Well, aren't you just the little entrepreneur? With a pitch like that, you'll be taking over for me in no time. That sounds just fine. Let's take a trip.
Hey, kid, be careful. It's dangerous to be climbing on top of the rig like that.
Daniel, can I speak to you for a second? Well, it's about this well. We've set it, it's been 2 weeks now since we've set it up, and not much has come of it. I mean, the men are starting to get a little restless. I have full faith in you, I do. It's just that, well, we're out here in the middle of the California desert next to some town none of us have ever heard of, and the heat, I think it's starting to get at them. I appreciate the concern, Fletcher, but frankly, the men need to learn patience. Now, that last oil well is producing enough that we can afford to be out here as long as we wish. Now, we found this well thanks to HW, and like he said, there is oil seeping right out of the ground here. Now, it could just be shallow. But it could also be something much deeper than that. And I'm not about to let any opportunity slip me by. HW! Get him down from there! Come on! I can't hear my voice. Dad, I can't hear my voice. I can't hear my. No, Dad, come back, Dad. Yes, Fletcher. I heard you all set. Very good. Now, would you look at that? Oh, what are you looking so miserable about? Can't you see? There's a whole ocean of oil underneath our feet. And I'm the only one who can get at it. HW? No, he's not okay. I will worry about that. Right now, I need you to worry about capping that well. The oil that's underneath there, the oil that's feeding that fire must be nothing compared to what's underground. But every second that it burns means more money out of our pockets. So I need you to make sure that everything is set and ready as soon as possible. You go do that, and I will be right here. Well, Doctor?
Mr. Plainview, I think you know what I have to tell you. Your son has burst eardrums. He's deaf in both ears, so you know he's going to have quite a lot of trouble speaking from now on. I suggest you arrange some sort of special education for him.
I will see to that. Thank you. Good God, what is it, HW? No, I am trying to work. Can't you see that? No, enough. Enough. You need to go back to bed. I am trying to work. HW, that's enough. HW, are you upset? I understand you need me, but I need to tend to the business if we are to have a future. I never got along with my father. I remember there was that old house on Mason Street. I remember it was beautiful. I remember wanting it. Even then I remember wanting to have children to run around in it. I think I'm going to build my own house. Next to the sea, big as I like. That's what I'll do. I'll take care of you. But I also need to take care of my business. Maybe I need to do that alone. Stay right here. Fletcher. When you arrive to the school for the deaf, you make sure that he has a nice room and that the teachers seem competent. And then you return as soon as possible. What is it, Fletcher? Standard offer to buy us out, tell them no thank you. Yes, I heard you, $1.5 million. Answer me this, Fletcher. What would you do with yourself? Retire? What would I do with myself? Just drop everything as soon as someone starts showing off a few dollars? No. They ought to dig around in the dirt like the rest of us. I dug this well. It's mine.
Daniel, maybe you could take time to be with your son? I know this time must be hard on him. He's only 12 years old. This could be good for you.
Did you just tell me how to take care of my own son? You know nothing. This is the greatest opportunity we have ever come across. And in time, we will be making more money than they are ever going to offer us. If you can't see that, and if you want to give up, then fine. Leave. I don't need you. But you are not about to sell them a single inch of my land. And if you ever try and tell me about my own family ever again, I will find you wherever you are. HW. Oh, man. My boy, that does me good. You must be his new interpreter. Ask him how his year was at school. HW, I understand your aim. But I needed time to be alone, to think. What do you expect? That the oil is just going to flow by itself? I left you in capable hands, didn't I? Letters? There is no time for letters, much less for goodbyes. If you are to succeed in this world, you must learn how to deal with hardship. Soon. Yes, you will see, soon we will be making more money. And then there will be all the time in the world for care and attention. Come here, son. Sit. Well, it's your 18th birthday and there's much to celebrate. So why don't we get an expensive meal and maybe some milkshakes if you like. It's been a couple of long but very prosperous years for us. I just got word that our new house is almost finished. 6 bedrooms, 2 offices, a beautiful dining room, and our very own bowling alley. Can you believe that? All overlooking the Pacific Ocean. And then, once we're finished with these new wells... Fletcher, come for a meeting with your new company, I see. Oh, come, it's been such a long time.
Hello, Daniel. Hello, HW.
There's no need to shout. Thank you. In fact, I was just talking with HW about how well we've been doing recently. And we never took that deal with Standard, did we? You know what you look like right about now, Fletcher? You look like a fool. That's right. A fool and a coward. Now, where were we? Mr. Plainview, I'm your son's new interpreter. Thank you for having us. Father, first of all, I would like to say that I love you very much. We've had many issues over the years, but we've made it this far together. Now, this is hard for me to say, but I am looking into starting my own oil company down in Mexico. I learned to love this business because of you, and my wife and I want to go start a family down there. This is a beautiful house you have built here, and I am proud to call it home. But I am 21 years old now, and it's time to make a change. This makes you my competitor. Is that what you want? Of all things, to pit yourself against me? You are making such a mistake. You're just like the rest of them. Hard for you to say. You can't even speak. You just wave your arms around at your dog, who barks for you and then waves back. If you have something to say, then you say it yourself. Speak to me.
I would rather have you as my father than as my partner.
You are killing us with what you're doing. You're killing your image of yourself as my son. I should have expected this. Because you're not my son. It's the truth. You never have been. I should have seen this coming because your maliciousness. Because there is none of me in you. You're just a baby from a basket in the middle of the desert. No parents left. I took you in because I needed a sweet face to buy land. A bastard child from a basket.
Then I thank God I have none of you in me. Goodbye, Daniel.
A bastard from a basket, you hear me? Go on, walk away. No one understands commitment anymore. Always looking out for themselves. If he hated me so much, then why did he stay as long as he did? Makes no sense. Damn fool! HW, he just walks out like I was the one who had faulted him. What did I ever do but care for him? I made it my business to see to it that he had everything he needed. A father, a home, an education, a business, a working, profitable business. That all would have been his. And he just wants to walk away from it all? And now, here I am, alone. Abandoned!
Daniel, wait. Daniel, my son, I've tried. I've gone to interviews, hundreds of them. No one is hiring. Everyone I know has been losing their jobs. Daniel, come back.
You must be laughing in your grave or wherever you are. Well, I don't care, because it was me. I worked for this. I told you I would. I was stronger than you. All you did was, you just sat there and you took my money. HW, he just took my legacy and he ran off with it. None of you don't understand appreciation. You don't see the truth of it. None of you do. Well, have you nothing left to say? Very well. I've said my piece. I'm finished.
How are you incorporating like the elements of the death side?
You mean like?
How hard it was, or how did you go around researching it?
Well, first of all, there's the movie which this character is from, and there's this scene at the end when the son is talking to him, and he has some lines, and so I studied the way he said those lines in the movie, and also there was this program online which was recommended to me by some of the Theater Threes, which is called Do You See What I Mean? Which is about some deaf people who speak for themselves.
So I kind of love the fact that it wasn't a happy ending, unless I'm totally missing something. But what made you go that path? Like a lot of people are like, oh, look at this, it's bringing joy or whatever. But what made you?
That was actually one of the things that made me interested about the character in the first place, is because it's a character that most stories, if written by other people, if directed by other people, it would have been just, oh yeah, I understand, okay, I love you back. But the fact that he was so far gone that he just doesn't understand what's right in front of him, I always found that so interesting to me, and I felt that that ending made me think a lot more than it would have otherwise.
Yeah.
Was there a meaning behind that?
I like the hat. He had it in the movie, and I wanted to use it. It was, yeah.
First, I thought you were gonna be a park ranger when you hit that on. I didn't really Why this character? Who else did you explore doing instead? Possibly, or why this one?
Well, like I said, I found this character incredibly interesting to me, just because of the fact that he's almost like this crazy villain who's the star of his own show. And I found him interesting because, as horrible as he could be, he has some qualities that I loved, like the fact that he is so driven to achieve his goals, and that he is completely honest with himself. And to an extent, he understands who he is. And he isn't worrying like, oh, should I do this, should I do that? Oh, no. He's very firm about what he wants to do. As for other characters I was considering, the other one I was mainly considering before I found this one was Private Joker from Full Metal Jacket. Yeah.
In the movie, one of the main conflicts is between Daniel and the three sons of the town. They were drilling in. What made you want to explore the relationship with his son?
Well, the relationship with the priest is very much, I found it to be symbolic of this conflict between capitalism and religion. And I found the relationship between him and the son to be a lot more human, and I found it to be a lot more interesting to me, so I decided to go with that one instead.
So when you did a rough draft for Theater Threes in our class, one thing you were working on was your abstraction. What did you find most satisfying?
My abstraction was all the moments when he would be talking almost to himself as the lights change. It's to show his progression from this more calm understanding, he knows what he wants, to just becoming more obsessive and crazy about what he has or what he thinks he wants later on.
What was your statement?
My statement was, ambition and greed can overpower the truth.
So there's a lot going on in the movie, and like only 30 minutes. So if you could do an hour-long piece, what would you want to add into this?
Just more about his relationship with the son. There were some interesting parts in the movie which was about child abuse, and it was hinted at that his father abused him, but it's never explicitly said. And then he feels really strongly about that when he sees other children being abused by their parents. So I would add about that.
I know, are you gonna shave now?
When the son became deaf, was there a sense as you portrayed the story development that was seen as a weakness and that he couldn't tolerate weakness? Was that the beginning of a breakdown in the relationship?
Yes. For this character, one thing is that what's really important is the fact that the son is not his blood relative, that he adopted him. And he originally adopted him as this tool, as this thing that he can use to move on with business. But then he slowly finds this relationship with his son as more human. Definitely, the point when he becomes deaf is that point when he starts to see his son as more useless as incompetent. And that was really the part that started driving him apart later on. And as for the milkshake, well, originally in the movie, there's this really famous, it's probably the scene that's most famous, that the movie is most famous for, at the end, in which he, at his most crazy and obsessed, he makes this dark but surprisingly light analogy for taking another person's property as drinking their milkshake. And I love the scene. I thought it was amazing. And I showed it to my outside eyes, and we all loved it so much that we thought we would add in a little line about it. It's an old version.
Ask question. Jackie?
I know at Dory's show somebody asked, like, that some people recommended that you pick somebody you like. And I know that there are aspects of him that you, like, identify with or admire, like, some different aspects. But what was it like to play this character that, like, is just mean?
It was honestly really fun. Because you don't normally get the chance to just go insane, to just go crazy and just scream. And it's interesting because for me, this character, he represents a lot of what I did not like, the darker parts of me, I guess. Like the parts that could become distrustful of other people, the parts that could be worried or look down on other things as incompetent or whatever. And I thought that I picked him because I liked how extreme he was about that, and how just unapologetic, no holds barred. And yeah, I thought it was really fun to just delve into that.
Well, we have a reception to the left. Please join us, and then the next show starts at